On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Because women are naturally submissive also. Now, let me clarify that. What do women submit to? Women submit to a man's leadership, his system, his order, and his structure. Not even necessarily the man himself, and I'll give you an example of that. A woman can be in a relationship with a man that she does not respect and does not submit to. She can go to work and submit completely to everything that the boss wants her to do. And the reason why she's doing that isn't because the boss is a particular man, but because the company has a what? A system, an order, and a structure that she is buying into. She buys into that company. She wants to work in that industry. She wants to work at that place. So she buys into that and she does it.
But she wanted your wants and needs. So those were her wants.
But who's to say that she didn't want for her for what it is that she wanted to do more than what it is that I wanted to do, right?
You said that. You said she wanted.
Hold on. Two things can be true at the same time. She could want for me to be successful and want to support me, and she could also want to fulfill whatever purpose is in her life. But then she came to a crossroad where she had to choose between one or the other, right? How do you prioritize what goes first? I became the first, and that's when we found out where her priorities. What do you mean? Why do I think that I became the first? Because
why do you think that?
The fortunes and the success of what it is that we were building largely is tied to me.
Exactly. And don't you think that she would want whichever one would have a greater outcome?
If that be true,
her daughter.
If that be true, then Kay, then why are there so many women that saying that, hey, I want to do my own thing, or I can go out and do my own thing, or I can go and build my own stuff. I could be sad by myself or whatever, so on and so forth. Because we went through some dark times, right? I went broke. There's a lot of stuff that happened prior
Y'all
to
were
me
married, right?
Ascending. But the point that I'm making is that it's a lot of women that won't do that. So what's the difference between a woman that puts me as the priority and another woman that says, hey, this is a partnership and I'm not getting what I need out of this at this specific moment, and I want to get the heck out of here because I can be broke by myself? What's the difference?
I think that if you're in a marriage, because what you're talking about, you and your wife were married at that point, right?
Yeah, like it's a lot of women that break up from that divorce from their husbands.
I agree, and this is what we just talked about. Like, if you're in a marriage, you need to really consider a lot of things, right? Like, let's say, I mean, whatever the case may be, if your man, you're married to him, he's about to be a doctor, and you want to be a blogger, whatever, and you say, you know what, I can put this on hold for a little while and support him because this is going to be the greater benefit quicker, right? So I don't think that I think that a lot of times women want the thing that's just the best overall outcome. Now, if that's about the man, fine, support it. If it's about the woman, fine, support it. But I don't know. Like, when you brought up the story about your wife, I definitely think that she wanted to support you. So that was part of your wife's needs and wants. She wanted to support you.
If I can interject, I didn't want to step over Anton. Were you going to say something?
No, I'm just. I want to hear.
I was gonna be JR since he's not here.
Cut it out. I'm still here.
I thought you needed my help.
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
We're gonna go to her right now.
Still here.
I like your version of JR too, though, Courtney. Go ahead, Crimson.
So here, needs and wants are two very different things. When we talking specifically about a woman's needs and wants, I'm gonna have to agree with Anton. A man's needs are greater than his woman's wants at any given time in the relationship. Because first of all, women want one thing one day and another thing another day. Okay. We too emotional for somebody to be focusing just on stuff that we want. Because I can just speak for myself. I'm a whole Gemini. It's two people over here. When we about what we want, okay every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's every day we arguing about what we want. So I wouldn't even put no man through trying to give me what I want all the time, because what I want all the time changes all the time. Then that man will drive up the wall. He'll be Spider-Man for real, trying to figure out what I want and how to give it to me. Now, my needs.
That goes back to the adapting conversation.
Huh?
That goes back to the adapting conversation. So your man would have to adapt because your needs and wants are all over the place, right?
Well, my needs are not, my wants are. My needs stay the same. My needs
Well,
are.
okay, your wants.
And my wants are fleeting because I'm a woman, but you should be able to identify with that, because you want the same thing all the time. No, we don't want the same thing. Amira just told a story about not wanting roses all the time. Her man was getting a rose all the time. She didn't want them all the time. That's just how we do it as women. It's just what it is. So here's to the meat of the thing, though, because again, needs and wants are very different. Women have a need, right, for leadership. We are naturally chaotic, so we need order. We naturally have insight, so we need the balance of a man's foresight. We naturally have a lot of things going on with us that complement what men do and what they have and what they bring. So if we meet a man that actually has leadership, he has system, order, and structure, he has his foresight, and these are his internal qualities, right? We're not even talking about the potential of his money or anything like that. We're just talking about the man himself. If we get with that man, those things actually meet a great number of our needs as women, because like I said, for example, we're naturally chaotic. We'll be over here, we'll be over there. And that's natural to us. It's normal to us. There's nothing wrong with it. And it's nothing wrong with us being naturally chaotic.
What do you mean by chaotic?
We lack structure of our own. Let me get a little deeper into it. Because women are naturally submissive also. Now let me clarify that. What do women submit to? Women submit to a man's leadership, his system, his order, and his structure, not even necessarily the man himself. And I'll give you an example of that. A woman can be in a relationship with a man that she does not respect and does not submit to. She can go to work and submit completely to everything that the boss wants her to do. And the reason why she's doing that isn't because the boss is a particular man, but because the company has a what? A system, an order, and a structure that she is buying into. She buys into that company. She wants to work in that industry. She wants to work at that place. So she buys into that, and she does it.